Today's episode is a very special edition episode that is here by popular demand. Today's episode is for the husbands. Something we talk a lot about on this podcast is the fact that as of the time that you're listening to this, menopause is not being taught in med school, which results in thousands and thousands and thousands of women feeling gaslit. They're going to their doctor, they're doing all the right things, they're eating less, they're moving more. And because doctors don't understand menopausal bodies, which is not their fault, it's not being taught in school yet, they're being told, well, if you're not losing weight, it means you're not doing enough of the right things. It means you need to cut calories even more. It means you need to amp up cardio even more. And the reality is, what we're going to talk about today is all of those things make the problem worse. So there are so many women accidentally digging the hole deeper and feeling like they're crazy because they're doing all the things they're quote unquote supposed to do, and the problem's getting worse. So if their own doctors don't understand it, how in the world could we expect their husbands to understand it, right? That you guys don't have to go through menopause. You don't have to go through the experience of eat less, move more, actually making the problem worse. So in today's episode, we're going to keep it quick and punchy and to the point. I want to take some time to teach the husbands what's going on in a menopausal body, why the old rules of eat less, move more actually make the problem worse, and most importantly, how we can get your wife, your partner, your spouse, your sister, whoever it is, how we can get them to the other side with a healthy metabolism in a menopausal body. Check it out. As you heard me say in the intro, this is a topic that, as of the time that we're here together, is not being taught in med school. So right now, it is a true story that we have multiple medical doctors going through our Ignite program. And every single one of them has said the same thing. They say, Rachel, I'm here not just for myself, but because I wasn't taught about this in school. So I know that I'm doing a disservice to the women I serve because they are doing all the right things. They are eating less, moving more, eating healthy. And I see it. The problem's getting worse. And I don't know what else to tell them because that's all I've ever been taught. And it makes my heart oh so happy. I always tell them I want to reach through the Zoom screen and hug them because this is what's needed. And I believe it'll happen. I believe in time we will get to a place where menopause is taught in med school. I'll find something else to teach at Mind Strong gladly. But until that time comes, this is not being taught. And as you heard me say in the intro, it's resulting in women accidentally making the problem worse and in feeling gaslit, in feeling like they're crazy because they know what they're doing and their doctor's almost not believing them or saying do more of it. So I'm going to break this conversation into three parts. Number one, we're going to talk about why eat less, move more actually makes the problem worse in menopause. Number two, we're going to talk about what we call the big three, meaning those hormonal changes that happen in a menopausal body and why overall health, weight loss can't happen without them. And number three, we'll talk about what the other side of this looks like. What does the work look like to get to the other side? Because it is, I don't like the word fixable because it implies we're broken. It is something we can get to the other side of with specific steps. So let's start with metabolism. Our body's always looking for what I like to call homeostasis, right? My favorite analogy is sweating. If I go for a run, my body produces sweat. Why? Because we have a natural resting temperature. And if I go above that, my body's job is to cool me down and get me back to homeostasis, my natural resting comfort zone. The same is true with calories in versus calories out. Weight loss, biologically, is not safe for our bodies. So over the years, when your wife, partner, whoever we're talking about, when she was in her 20s and wanted to lose a few pounds and dropped her calories, nobody taught us not to stay there. So let's just throw out some random numbers. Let's say she was eating 1,800 calories in her 20s. She dropped it to 1,600 and stayed there. Over time, her body said, oh, this is who we are and what we do. This is how we eat. This must be my new homeostasis. In the nutrition world, you may hear that referred to as maintenance. This is my new maintenance. Fast forward a few years, we want to lose a few more pounds. We drop calories again, and we stayed there because nobody taught us differently. We have seen women, this is not an outlier, we have seen many women come to our program eating 500 calories a day and gaining weight. Now, if eat less, move more actually worked, how would that be possible? What's happened in their body is that over time of cutting calories, their body, their metabolism, if it had a voice, said, hey, this is our new normal. This is our new homeostasis. This is our new maintenance. So anytime you eat above that, of course you're going to gain weight, right? Because we've gone above maintenance. We've gone into what we call a caloric surplus. And of course you're going to gain. So if your wife person in question here is already eating low calorie, and the textbook definition of low calorie is under 1600, in our world we've seen as high as 1800 and not losing weight. For most of our women, if I'm going to generalize, it's around 1200 calories. If you're already eating 1200 calories and not losing weight, continuing to cut calories is digging the hole deeper. We're actually making your metabolism worse. What we need to do is what we call heal your metabolism, meaning slowly introduce more. And we have to do this very meticulously, because if you do it too fast, you will gain weight. There are plenty of women who've come to us after working with coaches, nutritionalists, whatever, who just kind of haphazardly raise their calories. You will gain like 20, 25 pounds doing it that way. We need to very meticulously introduce more calories in the name of raising your maintenance. The whole point of what we call a healing stage is to get your metabolism better at burning calories, to train it for a new higher maintenance. So that's the most important part of the sentence, so that the old rules of eat less, move more go back to working. Now, if you're someone who loves to deep dive, I have endless amounts of podcasts on the healing stage itself. For the purpose of this episode, for the husbands, to give you an idea of what's going on, the Cliff Notes version is, if your wife partner's already eating low calorie and it's not working, continuing to amp up exercise, continuing to cut calories is making the problem worse. What we need to do is heal her metabolism, get it better at burning calories. Okay, that's section 1 of the work, we'll call it. Part 2 of this conversation is what we call the big 3 in menopause. In a menopausal body, I'm not going to get deep in the weeds, so don't worry, men, if you don't want to hear too much about hormones, we're not going to get too deep. One of the big themes of menopause is that our estrogen naturally drops. That's welcome to Menopause 101. Estrogen has a lot of roles in the body, one of which is cortisol control. So you'll hear people refer to our cortisol resilience goes down in menopause, because as estrogen drops, cortisol naturally spikes. The problem is it is nearly impossible to lose weight in a body, or just generally be healthy in a body with spiked cortisol. So cortisol is number 1 of the big 3. Number 2 is inflammation. It's a very similar conversation. One of estrogen's other main roles in the body is helping to control inflammation. So as estrogen drops, inflammation starts to naturally rise. Much like cortisol, it is nearly impossible to lose weight or be healthy in a body with high levels of inflammation, which is happening organically in a menopausal body if we're not taking steps to counteract it. So when we talk about the big 3 in menopause, we have cortisol, we have inflammation, and the third one is gut health. In a menopausal body, there's a natural gut microbiome shift that happens. It happens to every single woman. You can't avoid it. You can absolutely slow it down. Gut health is so important. It's not, a lot of people just think bloating. It's not. This is where, if your wife has complained about brain fog, this is where it comes from. Anxiety, depression, these come from gut health. This is why you see such a spike in these things, in anxiety, depression, brain fog in a menopausal body. It's because of this natural gut microbiome shift that, again, we cannot sidestep, we can't avoid, but we can absolutely get under control. So anytime I talk about weight loss or general health in a menopausal body, there are 2 parts, and it does not work without both parts. You can get your nutrition in check all day long, but if you haven't addressed the big 3, it's not going to work. If you're only focusing on cortisol control or inflammation or gut health, but you don't have a healed metabolism, it's not going to work. Overall health, weight loss in a menopausal body has 2 parts that must be addressed. So in the interest of keeping this podcast episode short and sweet for the husbands, let's talk about part 3. We've talked about healing your metabolism, right? Cutting calories is actually making the problem worse. We've touched on the big 3, cortisol, inflammation, gut health. Now let's talk about what the work looks like. And I want to be completely transparent here. It's very rare, if you do dive into my podcast more, it's very rare that I use the word must. I don't like musts and shoulds. I like the power of choice. If you want to be healthy and lose weight in a menopausal body, you must tackle those two things. Unless you're going to go on a drug, which I don't recommend, this is it. This is the path. Whether it's with us, whether it's with someone else, this is the path that every menopausal woman who's already eating less, moving more, and not seeing results, this is what you must do if you want to lose weight and get healthy. Part one is what we talked about in part one, is we have to heal our metabolism. We have to get it better at burning calories so that the old rules of eat less, move more, go back to working. We, again, in the diet industry, which I hate, but in the diet industry, you'll hear it called a reverse diet. In our world, we call it a healing stage, meaning your body, one of our favorite sayings is your body's always talking to us, whether it's what we want to hear or not. So as we start slowly introducing calories, as we start slowly getting your body fueled in the right proportion of carbs, fat, protein, which is a must, side note, especially in menopause, we lose lean muscle mass and bone density at an alarming rate. Making sure those calories are in the right proportions of carbs, fat, protein is absolute key. As we start going through this healing stage, your body is going to give us clear signs that it's ready for more, or it needs a little break so that we don't gain weight as we're raising to a new higher maintenance. It has to be uber personalized. We have to know how to read what your body is telling us. That's part one. We have to heal your metabolism. You cannot be healthy and lose weight in a menopausal body without it. Part two is addressing the big three: cortisol, inflammation, gut health. And this is why I harp so much on the uber personalization that has to go into it. Because what we do with our members, the first thing we do is a symptom checklist, right? We're not going to try to tackle 150 menopause symptoms all at once. We're going to see for your personal body, what's the low-hanging fruit? Is cortisol the one the glaring neon sign that's causing the most havoc in your body? Is it inflammation? Is it gut health? Because when we can grab onto that low-hanging fruit, we can start feeling better sooner. We all know that weight loss, especially in a menopausal body, takes some time. But where we can start seeing those results straight out of the great gate is by tackling the big three using nutrition alone. Nothing I believe in includes supplements, includes pills, includes injections. This is all using nutrition alone, but it has to be uber personalized to the individual. So I'm working hard to keep this episode short and sweet. This is essentially everything we teach in a 12-week program crammed into under 15 minutes. The big takeaways, again, whether it's with us or someone else, if you have a wife, partner, sister, aunt, whoever it is, a female in your life who is saying things like, I'm already doing everything right and the problem's getting worse, this is what's happening. There's no wishing, hoping, praying. This is what's happening in her body. She needs to heal her metabolism, get it better at burning calories, and we need to tackle the big three: cortisol, gut health, and inflammation. This is true to various degrees, but it is true to every single menopausal woman out there. The old rules of diet culture that worked in our 20s, 30s, early 40s, they do not work in a menopausal body. One of the things we talk a lot about in our world is we're not living in the same body as our 20s, 30s, early 40s. It doesn't mean we're broken. It doesn't mean all hope is lost. It means we need a new tool bag. And that's our jam, is we're going to give you the tool bag of what health, what weight loss looks like in a menopausal body. And once you have the tools, that's it. You have them for life. You understand the how and why. One of my favorite expressions, you heard me say it in the intro, if you know how to ride a bike, try to fall off a bike, right? When your brain is wired for a skill, when your brain knows the why and how, it is very, very difficult, nearly impossible to forget this skill. And as an educator, that's our whole thing. I want to give you the keys to the kingdom so you understand the why and how. You have the tool bag for overall health and weight loss in a menopausal body, and those are tools that you have for the rest of your life.